everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everybody who's listening in the podcast. It is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. I wanted to come here and make this episode regarding a missing family of three who has been missing since they went to visit the Grand Canyon, and on their way back after a snowstorm they have not been seen since. So this is very unusual to have a whole family missing in this trip. Before I continue, I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who is listening in the podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and of course thank you so much to everybody who's watching this video on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And because this is about a missing family, please don't forget to share this video, okay? So let me read to you what's going on here. Sadly, a family of three is missing following a winter storm and a large multi-vehicle wreck in northern Arizona last week. The Coconino County Sheriff's Office said Jijian Lee, 33 years old, Taiji Kim, 59, and Jung-hee Kim, 54, are missing after last week, and they were last seen on March 13. The three women were traveling on vacation from the Grand Canyon area to Las Vegas on the date of their disappearance, according to the police department. Quote unquote, they're saying, "We have visitors from all over the world that come here, but it is a little unusual to have three go missing at the same time." Okay, so you guys know it is a spring break time. There's a lot of people going on vacation these days. Easter Sunday's coming, a lot of people taking time off, so just be careful out there. Just so crazy because I came here last week and did a couple videos regarding the missing person in Dominican Republic, in Punta Cana, another spring breaker who went there. It's a lot of people traveling, so just be careful, be aware of your surroundings. This family of three has been missing, okay, so for a whole week already. So let me continue to read. The Flagstaff, Arizona-based sheriff's office said the vehicle GPS information showed the family's rental car, which is a white 2024 BMW with a California license plate, was last seen on Interstate 40 westbound around 3:30 p.m. While law enforcement is aware of the 22 vehicle crash that occurred on I-40 on March 13, they do not know if the three women's rental vehicle was involved in the crash. They're saying it is our concern that because of the weather conditions on that day, that major accident, the GPS may have rerouted them. And if you ever travel up in northern Arizona, when you get rerouted, sometimes GPS will reroute you into a Forest Service road without knowing weather conditions are harsh. So this is the sad situation here. We pray right now that they all three are found safe. It is so sad. It seems to me that the three women are not from the States, so you're coming here to travel to specific state parks. You're going to go see specific places, and then you're faced with a storm, right? Bad weather conditions. There's an accident, they close the area, you get rerouted, and then like the sheriff is saying, you might end up in a forest with no service and without knowing the weather conditions are hard. So they are definitely sending out the message out there. They're looking for a white BMW with California plates, and these three women they're using it as a rental car. So all three of them are missing. It says here, on the day of the major wreck and the family disappearance, a deadly crash occurred on the snow and ice covered interstate in Williams, south of Grand Canyon National Park. The Arizona Department of Public Safety said the collision, which involved several tractor trailers and 13 passenger vehicles, killed 2 people and sparked a fire that burned for more than 20 hours. Wow, what a storm they had. to cause all this damage. It is unclear if the rented vehicle and the missing woman were involved in the deadly crash. So that's very odd, because I mean, this accident happened last week, right? And they have people who are missing. How can they not know? Yes, yeah, like how can they not know yet, like if the vehicle was involved in the crash? I find that to be very, like, like it makes you wonder why. How can they not know that? Don't they, when there's a crash, you kind of know like all the vehicles involved, and all of that. It might take longer if it is a deadly crash, to identify the victims and to find their families, to tell the families what happened. But I do not know what kind of vehicle it is. I know there was a fire too, but it says here that, well, the police is saying since the 13th, there have been no phone pings that we see, no phone calls, no credit card use, and the GPS, there never been another point of that GPS on the vehicle, so that does makes it difficult. I really hope they're not involved, it's just, it's kind of like, wow. If, I mean, you know what I mean, like the accident happened on the 13th, right? They've been missing since the 13th. They haven't been, there haven't been no GPS, no credit card use, no phone use, nothing like that since that day. Yet the police is saying they're not sure if the 3 women were involved in that accident. That's just, I wonder what's the reasoning behind that. How can they not know, I'm sure by now they know every vehicle that was involved, so it's just, wow. Let me see what else let me see what other information I can give you. I wonder, who reported them missing. Like, was it like a family member? The car rental company? So they're labeling it as a mysterious disappearance. So let me see if I can read to you guys another article. Local police say a family of 3 disappeared while on a road trip from Grand Canyon to Las Vegas. The 3 South Korean travelers who visited the Grand Canyon in Arizona have been missing for 10 days. So they were missing on the 13th, today's 23rd, right? According to the press release, a family of 3 has not been since the 13th, and the last contact of their GPS was around 3:30 p.m. and the highway accident that happened was around 1:40 p.m. on the 13th. So after the trio, originally scheduled to return to Korea on March 17, lost contact with a relative in Korea, their relative in Korea sought help from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which then reached out to local police. So it was okay. So they came from Korea to do this trip, right? They were supposed to have returned on the 17th, which was last Monday, okay, St. Patrick's Day, and the family reached out to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that then reached out to the local police. An official from the Korean consulate in General Los Angeles said, "We supply all relevant information to local authorities and send staff to the area to assist with a swift search for the missing family." Wow. It must have been so sad, you guys. It's so sad that because they, you have to think about this. They're in a country they're in a foreign country, using a rental car to go to this national park, and they probably had planned this trip out for months, right? Especially, people do that, especially if they're using a car, and then they face this snowstorm that caused a major accident, and then they haven't been seen since. So wow. Let me see what people are saying here. So what people are saying, like what I just said, is a tragedy. Somebody said, I wonder what's taking them so long to identify their rental. Big numbers are fairly easy to recover, even in a terrible crash. That was my biggest question mark. Hearing the sheriff's office saying, oh, we're not sure if they were involved in that crash, right? I mean, if you're releasing information about them being missing, I'm assuming that you already cleared them from being on the crash, right? Because how can you not know? I mean, the crash happened 10 days ago. How can you have absolutely no clue that a white BMW was also part of that crash? I hope it wasn't, right? But I'm saying, how can the police still not have that information? Especially when you have a family already reaching out asking, saying, hey, we haven't heard from our relative. Do you think they were involved in that massive crash? That was like the highway they were taking around that time. You know, it's like, how can the police not know this information yet? So somebody said, unfortunately, it does sound like they survived the crash if their car went offline at the exact same time, at the same place. Excuse me. What? That's horrible. I was thinking of doing the same trip for the week before. Winter in that region is no joke. Wow. So, you know, I always tell you guys, it's crazy to me. This is just my opinion. You know, first of all, I really hope they're found safe. Okay, I really hope and pray that they're found safe. You have to understand, it's just not one missing person. You have 3 adult women missing. Okay, so I'm sure, like, if somebody's not feeling well, the other person will go out, get help, whatever. It's 3 of them, right? So I hope they're found safe. I cannot believe what I was saying is this. In the age that we're living in these days, that there's a camera everywhere, and people are gonna say, yeah, but you know, in that area, you know, it's a remote area, there's not a lot of people. It's a very tourist type of, you know, it's a very tourist searched out area, right? A lot of people want to go there. That's what I meant to say. So it's almost like, you know, the Gabby Petito story, how they were able to track the band because somebody saw another like YouTuber on a live going through the same route, the same street, right? And they noticed the white van, right? And it's like, wow, that's just amazing, right? And I just can't believe that it's been 10 days and there is no answer of this family. The rental car company is like, don't they put trackings of this on this type of vehicle that are rented? How can they not know, right? I know a million things could happen, but did they get lost? Did they seek out for help? Like I said, it's 3 of them missing. It's not just one person who went on a lonely trip, on a single trip, I meant to say. It's 3 of them missing. And, you know, it's still questionable, to be honest. After reading this, it's very questionable that after 10 days, the police cannot say, we're not sure if they were involved in the crash. That's just, you know, that's just a little kind of like, how can you not know, really? Like, well, how is the investigation going, like, in this crash that you had? Because, you know, when crash happens like that, like, especially on a highway, you know exactly like what vehicles were involved. You might not, if it's daily, like I said before, perhaps you might not identify everybody right away. You're waiting for results, you're waiting to notify the family first and all of that. But like I said, the family already reached out to them. It was the family from Korea who reported them missing, because this family of 3 was supposed to have returned back to Korea this past Monday, okay, St. Patrick's Day. So what is going on here? It's crazy to me that in 2025 people still go missing. And I know, you know, it happens so often. It's crazy. But this is the thing that I say, you might think of something in your mind, right? anything that you perhaps you're planning on buying, you don't say to anybody this and the other, then you go on your email and then you get an advertisement about the same thing that you even thought about. Like, it's so crazy to me that people still go missing even though technology is so advanced, right? So hopefully somebody will come forward with information. I really hope that they're found safe. So I'm gonna share the poster here. You guys, you can share the poster. If you have family in that area, please reach out to them and let them know about these 3 missing women, whole family from Korea, who were traveling on a white BMW. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much for listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.